I'm like, what are you doing? Ooh, it will stretch you. That's what I'll say.
A shock.
What a shocker. We're going to make this work. This will work. Yes, say it with your words. Like, bro, no be you. I don't know it's in the occult, but come up, younger ones. Come up.
Yeah.
At that moment, I was just telling Jason that I'm done. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Hey! Welcome back to the channel. So in this video, we've decided that it's time. We feel like it's time for us to share what our honeymoon experience was like here. Our honeymoon, like after our wedding.
Yeah. And
also talk about like first year marriage challenges, like the things that actually stood out to us in marriage. And this is my husband. His name is Jason. So
Hi.
for those of you that don't know him, we've been married for a little over a year now. So we're still kind of like we're still newlyweds now.
Yeah.
We're still newlyweds. Okay, so, oh my god, I'm distracted by my beauty. I'm looking here, stop looking here. Our honeymoon experience was an interesting one.
Mm-hmm.
So the day after not the day, I think 2 days after, right? When we went to the other hotel.
Yeah.
Okay, so the 2 days after our wedding, the hotel where we had our wedding, we stayed there the night of the wedding. So after that night, we decided to go to a better hotel. So went to another hotel, and then the night at that hotel, that was when everything wanted to scatter. I can't remember exactly what happened. Like, I can't remember what the fight was about. But we had a very, very heated fight that night.
Yeah.
And I think we both raised our voices, are we?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Yeah, we both raised our voices. Literally, like 2 days after our wedding. Hey, Jesus.
What a shock.
What a shocker. And then I think Jason stormed out of the room and went to the pool area to cool off. Me, I stayed in the room. I was like fuming. I was so pissed. I can't remember what it was, but that fight was intense. Like, whoo. It was intense. And the reason why we are sharing this is because I'm realizing that it actually happens to some people that in your honeymoon.
We are realizing.
Okay, we are realizing that it's actually possible that in your honeymoon you have a fight. I know it's not common because everyone just thinks like, oh, the honeymoon is time where you guys just enjoy each other. For us, day 2, we're already like, nah, we're done. This is it. Like, this is crazy. And I spoke to one of my cousins as well, although before the wedding, and she also said how like during her honeymoon they had a big fight as well. And so when it happened to me, I was like, oh, so this is it's not new. It used to happen. We're one of the people that it has happened to. And then I think later on he came back to the room, right? When I went to drag him back to the room. Came back to the room, you think that is it, right? No! Part 2 continued of this fight. And so we were still mad at each other and we slept angry, woke up angry, and continued the fight from where we left off. And I think it was at that point that things like went downhill. I don't know what it was, but at that moment I was just telling Jason that I'm done. I'm not doing this. I can't do this. I was like, I'm done. I'm not doing this marriage thing. Which kind of nonsense is this? I was so pissed. I was like, I'm not doing it. I started saying I'm packing my bag. I'm going back home. Jason was like, what? You are going where? We are just starting. Day 2. Who is quitting? I was like, I'm packing. I started doing like I was packing my things. Jason was like coming to me like, no, you can't do this. You can't do this. You can't leave. We are I was like, this is day 2. This is day 2. He now blocked the door. You know, when I was trying to leave the room, he blocked the door. He was like, we're going to make this work. This will work. This must work. We are going to work. Chidera, we are going to work. We are going to work.
Yeah, it was very dramatic.
It was dramatic. I think I started crying because I was like, I don't understand. Because I think for me, I had such ideas about how my honeymoon should be, right? And I did not understand why we were fighting. Like, what was this fight about? And I'm like, if this is just day 2 of the marriage, how is the marriage going to be if we're already fighting like this on the second day of the marriage and I want to quit? So after the whole back and forth of me saying I'm leaving and him saying no, we're going to work, which is one thing I think actually I appreciated in that moment. Jason saying no, we're going to work. This is going to work. This marriage is going to work. He kept saying that at the same time, you know, apologizing, like just saying sorry, please, let's stay together and all of that. Me too. I think at the end of it, we both apologized, and then I think we evaluated the whole fight, like where what went wrong, like how we should have better responded. Like, you say something.
I think that was most of it. The way I'm saying it is, it sounds like the whole honeymoon we were fighting.
No, it's just that night. The night and the morning of us sleeping angry. Yeah. But once we fixed what the issue was and then we went through and evaluated, our honeymoon was perfect. Like, it was perfect.
I think
then
because of the expectations that we had for each other, and on our honeymoon not meeting those expectations, it kind of escalated things and made us feel like, why is this person behaving this way when I've married you, and then I expect you to do something and then you're not doing it, or you're not giving me this. So it's like,
hey, well, you don't give on that tone with this thing you're talking, no, you're not giving me this.
oh no, it's not that. It's not that, but like, yeah, basically expectations.
Yeah, I think we just both had ideas of what our honeymoon would be like.
Exactly.
I felt like my honeymoon would be heaven, and I was expecting heaven the whole time. So it was just different trying to navigate us fighting. And do you know what was crazy? That was our biggest fight so far. Like, even while dating, we had arguments here and there.
Yeah.
But like the one on the honeymoon was the
heavy.
biggest. So we're both like, what's going on? Why is this fight this intense? But as God will have a glory to Jesus, after we resolved it was fine. Like, our honeymoon was really, really amazing. One of my core memories with this man. But yeah, it wasn't a walk in the park, and I just felt to share that just in case, because at that moment, honestly, if you had told me that my marriage would like work out, I'll be like, sis, this is day 2. What are you telling me? But it's actually working out. So in case you have like a fight, it doesn't just mean, oh, it's gonna be bad. It depends on how you're able to work through it, and also like take the lessons from that experience and apply it going forward. Okay, so let's move right along. So first year of marriage, sum it up. Like, if you had to sum up the first year of marriage, what would you say?
Hard.
Hard. Okay.
Hard. Educational.
Okay.
And exciting.
We're going to school. Okay. First year of marriage for me, I'll say interesting, different, and very, very annoying. That's it for me. So I think for me, one of the major challenges for the first year of marriage for me is just realizing how important it is to resolve issues quickly. So what I've noticed is, like, when we have misunderstandings, which is like common with marriage, you need to have that. If you don't have that, then one of you is holding back a lot, and you need to let it out so you're not building resentment. Anyway, so one of the things I realized is the longer you let a misunderstanding linger, the wider it becomes and the harder it is to close that breach. Okay, so like when you have a misunderstanding, it's good you try and resolve it as soon as possible. I think that's why even the Bible says, do not let the sun set on your anger. It's just because the more you leave that thing, it gets wider. So in our case, I've seen instances where we had misunderstandings, and instead of resolving it on that day, we let it linger to the next day, and then before you realize, it's becoming so much more, and sometimes you even forget what is the thing you were fighting about, because it has lingered and you did not resolve it on time. It's getting bigger and bigger. So one thing I think I have learned from the first year is just realizing that when we have arguments, I should try and let go of my pride as soon as I can, and just maybe accept his apology, or maybe apologize if I need to, and just close that thing quickly. Like, close that argument and move on. Don't let it linger for so long.
Yeah, because once you're arguing like that, it becomes easy to do things to hurt your partner again as well. So it's like you made the first offense, but instead of just apologizing, you do something else. And then now the person is angry because of what you did, not because of what you did
the first time. Like, the anger keeps piling up, the annoyances
keep
piling up. Is there any other thing you learned?
Major thing for me has been the difference with love language. I think that's been the main difference, or the main challenge for me, because she's words of affirmation. And in this marriage, I'm physical touch.
Hugging you.
I'm physical touch. And it took me a while to realize that didn't come easy to her.
At all.
Like,
don't touch me. Don't touch me.
Sometimes when I want to touch her, it's like I have to think first. Because sometimes it annoys her, but she does make that effort to give me the touch that I need. And I've recognized that she is putting in the effort. So I appreciate it much more now.
Yes.
And then also with her love language, words of affection.
He doesn't like using words.
Before we got married, I was horrible at like words of affection. Like, if you do something, okay, you've done it. I want to acknowledge it. I'll be like, oh, yeah, it's a good thing you've done it. In my mind, I'll say, yeah, maybe like, oh, that's nice or something. But I want to actually acknowledge that she's done something nice, or she's doing what she's supposed to do, that kind of thing. So yeah, it took effort for me to start saying, thank you, Dara, or I appreciate that you did this. And to actually even start saying things like, you look really pretty today, instead of just thinking it.
Yes, saying it with your words.
Saying it. So yeah, that takes effort from me, and it's something we're still working on, but we've made a lot of progress on that.
So yes, definitely with the love language, it's something that is a hurdle. I mean, if you both speak the same love language, your marriage will be quite easy because both of you are loving each other the way you want to be loved. But for me, I think I have really grown. I have grown in terms of touching.
Yeah.
Because I think all my life, I've always been very non-affectionate. It doesn't mean I don't like people, but like, don't touch me. It's that simple. Even my siblings know. Because they remember that, not just they touch me. It's one thing I feel vexed. So it was that bad. And then God now gave me a man that wants to be touched. And I'm like, But yeah, definitely I have improved. I go out of my way sometimes. I just walk from my desk to his table and I'm like, I just hug him because I know it's important to him. So that has been quite the journey.
Yeah.
Another thing that has stood out to me in the first year of marriage is realizing just how, I think, selfish and assumptions, I don't know if I'll take the two at the same time, how selfish each of us can be. I think sometimes it shocks us. Like, sometimes you just be like, why am I so selfish? Right? No, why are you not saying,
Yes.
Okay. Like, how selfish. Sometimes you just want to do things. Like, you do things and you realize it's hurting your partner, right? And you're like, why am I doing this? Like, you genuinely do not want to hurt your partner.
Yeah.
And then you realize you hurt your partner because you were actually like being selfish or having like allowing pride to get the best of you. So it's just realizing like our selfish tendencies, like they're actually a lot, and it takes a lot of self-control and consciousness, intentionality, not to let your selfishness override your good intentions, if that makes sense. And then another thing that stood out for me.
Let me see.
Okay.
Yeah, about the selfishness, I think it's about you living as one person and then living as two people now. Everything you do, you need to consider your partner. And it takes time. It will be difficult in the first few months or whatever, but after some time, it will become like first nature, basically. Because all your life, you've been living thinking about yourself, especially if you don't have responsibilities like me. Like, you don't have to think about other people in your house and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Everyone
what he
takes care
means
of
by
themselves.
responsibility for him is I'm the first child, right? And the dynamics of our families are both different.
Yeah.
So all my life growing up, I've always been the one looking out for my younger siblings. So I've never really had the opportunity of just not being responsible for anybody in that way. I'm always looking out for my three siblings. I'm always looking out for them. So for him, even though he has younger ones, he's not been like mentally responsible for them because that's just how the dynamics of their family is as well. So it's been harder for Jason, I would say, in terms of like selfishness.
Yeah.
And less for me because me, kind of, I'm already used to considering people when I'm thinking of things or when I'm making plans.
Yeah, and it's like me when I do something, it's not even in my mind sometimes that, oh, let me see if Chidera needs this, or let me consider her in these plans, or let me share what I'm doing. Sometimes I'm doing something and then I don't even tell her, and she's like, what is this man doing?
Yes. Oh, another thing that just came to my mind when you said this now is another thing that stood out to us in the first year of marriage is communication, right? Just how important it is to communicate.
Yeah.
And what I'll say here is saying what you are doing. Like, a lot of times, Jason is doing something, he doesn't realize he needs to say it out. Say it. I don't know what you are doing, and it drives me crazy. So, for example, we might be trying to maybe book something, right? And the next thing, Jason is quiet. He's doing something on his laptop. He's actually booking it, but I don't know what he's doing. We were talking. You didn't tell me, oh, I'm booking it. And it's driving me crazy. I'm like, what are you doing? And Jason has to be like, oh, I'm booking it. I'm like, okay, you did not tell me. If you tell me, I won't be asking you.
Yeah.
Right? So it's just that, those little consciousness of communicating, like, what are you doing? You can definitely testify that I've always asked, what are you doing? Can you just talk?
And
what are you doing?
I don't know, I feel like because I'm a twin,
those of us that are not twins should hug water.
That has contributed to it as well. So like with my twin brother growing up, we did everything together. We think the same way.
Yes.
We have the same interests, all that kind of stuff. So when we're doing stuff, communication is literally like non-verbal, or you don't even need to communicate.
Yes.
He knows what you are doing, you know what he's doing, and it just flows like that. But coming out of that, you need to use words.
You need to talk, bro.
You need to use words.
Last thing, just to wrap this up, is obviously forgiveness, right? in marriage. Now let me talk like an expert. Listen to me, young ones.
Yeah, and expect unforgiveness.
Listen to me,
she's
young
done it
ones.
so much.
Young ones, listen to me. Listen to your big sister. Marriage, you're gonna forgive. And when you forgive, you're gonna forgive some more. And when you forgive some more, you're gonna keep forgiving. Basically, forgiveness is non-negotiable. It's like something you can't negotiate in marriage.
Yeah.
I did not realize how I had it in me to forgive. Jesus.
I brought out the forgiveness.
He's brought out skills that I didn't even know I had. See, even my siblings, I don't think I've forgiven them as much as I've forgiven this one. Maybe that's an exaggeration. But point is, like, the forgiveness, you have to keep dishing it out. It's like every day, oh, you want forgiveness? Take. Do you want forgiveness today? Take it. It will stretch you. That's what I'll say. It will stretch you. Like, it will stretch you. You will grow. You will mature. You want peace of mind, you have to forgive. Because if not, you won't rest. Your mind will not rest and you won't have peace. So forgiveness. Forgiveness. Yeah. So you've not had to forgive me.
I have.
But I'm not as annoying.
Yeah, and I think for me, the thing that I have to do with her more is be patient.
Oh, yes. I like that you highlighted that. Yes.
I really need to be patient with her because sometimes when she gets in the mood, she doesn't realize what she's doing or how she's acting.
It's not a mood. It's when my feminine hormones hormone and start hormoning. When my feminine hormones start hormoning.
Yeah. And also when you're dieting, you get frustrated sometimes.
Yeah, when I'm dieting, to lose weight. Oh my God, I'm the crankiest person you will ever meet.
Yeah, so I'm very patient with her in those times. And I just understand that it's not about me, because a lot of times I feel like I've done something to offend her.
Yes.
But in those times I realize that it's not about me. She's going through something, and I'm just very patient with her, and it helps a lot. Yes,
I would agree. I can definitely agree that in terms of being patient, he's actually improved a lot. Yeah. Previously, at the beginning, whenever I'm like being cranky or irritable because I don't even know what's going on sometimes, he would start thinking, yes, which is to vex me.
Yeah,
he would start getting angry.
Why are you giving me attitude?
He's like, why am I giving him attitude? Why am I mad at him? What has he done? In my head, I'm like, it's not you.
Yeah.
It's not you. I don't know what's going on, but it's not you. And sometimes he won't even understand. He'll be so sad or angry, thinking that I'm mad at him. And I'm like, bro, no be you. I don't know it's in the occur, but I don't feel okay.
Yeah.
But over time, definitely, he's also improved in that area. Like, when I'm going through things, when I'm sad, when all of a sudden my mood just switches like this, he's learned to understand it's not always. Sometimes it can be because of him, right? But it's not always about him. So he's learned to be like, have I done something wrong? Or what's the matter? Trying to understand instead of just assuming that he's at fault. Female body be hormoning. So that's it, I think.
Yeah, I think that's the main thing. Yeah. You learn a lot.
Yeah.
As you come up.
Oh, as you come up, younger ones, come up.
Yeah.
I think that's it. I hope this video helps and you learned one or two things. If you did, do not forget to give this video a thumbs up, like, subscribe, comment.
Yeah. And share.
Till next time, guys.
Bye.
Bye.